Well, that's good news. Over to you. You're on, believe it or not.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. We have with us Mike Smith from Florida, and he just got back from Orlando, where he was. Do you get paid for roughing all those soccer games?
Oh yeah, we get paid pretty good money too. So
Ah, yeah. Keep after. We have Jose Cervantes here also, although he is hiding his good looks.
How you guys doing today?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me all right?
We're all zooming today because the report was ice on the road, and we didn't want to test the forecasters. So there we are. So, activities, historic. In 1824, today, we did not elect a president. We elected a vice president, but nobody got a majority in the Electoral College for president, so it got thrown into the House today. That's under the 12th Amendment, which is the last amendment until the 13th Amendment outlines slavery. So the four big guys were Andrew Jackson, John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and William Crawford, who I've never heard of. So it went into the House where they finally on 9 February took the vote, and John Quincy Adams was president for one term. And then they picked someone else, and he ran for election to the House of Representatives after that. And he knew the right place to sit because his desk was the place where the sounds from all the other parts of the chamber seemed to echo and come together. Unless he was ahead of everybody else. So this was the end of the year of good feelings. We'd gone for a long time without a lot of party rancor. And then it was over. All right. Today in 1865, Shaw University, the first historically black university in the southern U.S., was founded in Raleigh, North Carolina. In 1924, the National Hockey League's first U.S.-based franchise, which was the Boston Bruins, played their first game of league play at home at Boston Arena indoor hockey facility. In 1941, Emperor Hirohito of Japan gives his tacit approval to the decision of the Imperial Council to initiate war against the United States. That didn't turn out well. In 1941, the mayor of New York City, Fiorello LaGuardia, who was also the director of the Office of Civil Defense, signs Administrative Order Number 9, creating the Civil Air Patrol. And in 1952, the New York Daily News reports that Christine Jorgensen, the first notable case of sex reassignment surgery she had done in Denmark. World War II vet. In 1955, civil rights movement in Montgomery, Alabama, seamstress Rosa Parks refuses to give up her bus seat to a white man and is arrested for violating the city's racial segregation laws, an incident which led to the city's bus boycott. In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson and his top-ranking advisors met to discuss plans to bomb North Vietnam. So, in 1969 Vietnam War, the first draft lottery in the United States, held since World War II. The big thing about the draft in Vietnam was, I think, President Richard Nixon, trying to quiet the protest, agreed to lower the voting age to 18. All right.
I remember there was a lot of debates about that, on whether that was a good idea or not. So
I think there were. But, So in 1990, the Channel Tunnel between the UK and France met beneath the Channel seabed. Cold War 1991, Ukraine voters overwhelmingly approved a referendum for independence from the Soviet Union, which apparently didn't go down well in Russia. All right, 1997, 14-year-old Marco Carneal opened fire at a group of students in Heath High School in West Paducah, Kentucky, killed 3, injured 5. And let's see. Today in 2019 is the anniversary of the outbreak of the coronavirus became in Wuhan. And I'm not sure we still have an idea of what that means. But, in 1761, Marie Tussaud, a French-English sculptor, founded Madame Tussaud's Wax Museum. She passed away in 1850.
Hey, Cliff.
Yeah?
Jose's got his camera working now. Good morning, Jose.
Okay.
How you
Good
guys
morning,
doing
Jose.
today? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. I had to go downstairs and get my wife got me this little tripod. So when I was getting ready, I want to be ready to take off to go to work. Like, let me go get that little tripod instead of fighting with the phone. I like it. It's pretty cool. That little light on it and everything. How was you guys' Thanksgiving? Not to interrupt you, Cliff, with the historical facts.
Mine was
Thanksgiving went pretty well for us.
delicious. Had a delicious time.
We sort of scaled it back a little bit, but it was good.
I went just as planned. I was at Golden Corral Thursday and Saturday ate feast.
How'd the Golden Corral work out for you?
That was awesome. It did not disappoint. I was still full on Saturday.
How crowded was Golden Corral?
What was that?
How crowded was Golden Corral?
Surprisingly, by the time we got there, we didn't get there till probably 6 o'clock. And there was almost nobody there. It was great.
Interesting. Please proceed, Cliff.
Yeah, well, I had a question. If one of Jose's children had painted that painting of the producer that's over Jose's left shoulder.
No. My wife is big into the Funko Pops there. So she has different setups and stuff like that per show. You know, she has her Disney corner, the musicians over there, her vampire stuff, her zombie stuff. So it's pretty cool. I like it.
Okay. On this day in 1914, Alfred Thayer Mahan passed away. His father was the one that got West Point on the right path and moving, and he's important to the U.S. Navy because of his theory of sea power. Today in 1973, passed away David Ben-Gurion, first Prime Minister of Israel, who had been born in 1886. And today in 2023, just 2 years ago, Sandra Day O'Connor, first female U.S. Supreme Court justice, passed away. Today is Teachers' Day in Panama. It's World's AIDS Day. And let's see, I was looking to see if Fru had shown up. Today is the National Day for the Central African Republic.
Fru's not here yet.
Yeah. So,
Cliff, I got 2 texts for you.
good.
And I put them up on the screen here. Come on, baby. There they are. Fru's coming in now. Okay, so it says, good morning. I'm pretty sure General Butler and Andrew Jackson were good friends. Page 2. The pandemic was created to keep clearly non-fiction human being in charge of the country. That's from Jay. Thanks, Jay. Back to you, Cliff.
So, Fru, welcome.
Fru's still blurry. I'm going to take that feature off, put it back to gallery. Fru's not ready yet. He's here, but not ready.
Okay. So for me, the top topic of the weekend was a shooting of the 2 West Virginia National Guard members. I mean, one of them died, Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, Army National Guard, 20 years old, and critically wounded Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, 24. Shot by an immigrant from Afghanistan, Ramaullah Lakhanwal, 29-year-old, who left a wife and 5 kids in Washington and drove to Washington, D.C. He was in Bellingham, Washington, I think. I mean, I'm just outraged about this. And then, on Mohammed Dawood Alakazay was arrested Tuesday down in Texas because of a social media post where he said he was building a bomb. So he's been arrested on state terror charges in Tarrant County, Texas. So, I mean, what's going on here?
So, Cliff, if this guy that shot the 2 National Guard people in D.C. is convicted, what's an appropriate penalty for him?
Life in prison, I think.
That's a joke.
They're thinking about making, going for the death penalty. When I saw in an article, newscast yesterday.
So,
Yeah, I saw that.
the question is, what do you think it should be, Mike?
What should I think it should be? Absolutely the death penalty, and I don't want it to take 10 years on appeals.
Okay, Jose, what do you, if this guy's convicted, this guy who shot the 2 National Guardsmen, if he's convicted, what should his penalty be?
I mean, at the minimum, life without parole, but you know what? I wouldn't be upset if we send a message that our troops are not to be messed with and they were to give them the death penalty. I know that's not the popular answer, but at the end of the day, that is our brave men and women, whether it's at home or abroad, keeping us safe. So I would not be against the death penalty in a case like this.
Okay, Fru, what are your thoughts? If this man is convicted of killing these two National Guardsmen, what do you think his sentence should be?
Good morning, everyone. John, that's an interesting story that I am hearing now. I cannot comment on something that I've not followed.
Okay, then we're going to go back to Cliff. Thanks.
Yeah.
What?
Going back to Cliff.
Okay. So, I did want to interrupt this because Marco Rubio sent me an email very early this morning saying that today is the National Day for the Central African Republic, and I was hoping Fru would point out where that is.
Who sent you the information?
Some Irishman, Marco Rubio.
The Secretary of State?
Secretary of State, yeah.
I'm just wondering, why is he very interested in Central Africa?
The Department of State sends out an email for every nation on its National Day.
Cliff, you have to spread on thick. He watches the Dawn Patrol every morning when he's getting ready for
this
work.
Is Central Africa.
Okay.
Oh. Right here.
Okay.
This is Central Africa. This is Cameroon. This is Congo. This is Chad. This is Sudan. This is Congo Brazzaville. This is Gabon. For those who do not, who think that Africa is a country.
Thank you, Marco. Good to hear from you.
Well, there is that. So anyway, Donald Trump has taken this opportunity to put the kibosh on immigration visas out of Afghanistan. On the one hand, I think everyone in Afghanistan who fought with us, or we fought with them, that we were associated, if they want to come to the United States, I say, great, you're one of our allies. On the other hand, coming here and taking your anger out on the population doesn't seem like a good idea to me. How should we treat this? Does anybody have any hot opinions?
Yes, I think this guy should get, if he's convicted, he should get painful execution on pay-per-view.
Wasn't he here for a little while too? Am I mistaken? Like he had been here for, it's not like he just got here too, right?
He's lived here since 2021. He's here with a wife and 5 kids. But apparently, he's been struggling with regard to a job and all.
Also, they're all on public dole? They're all getting welfare?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So, we paid for this guy's guns, car, transportation, everything. Nice job.
What possesses somebody to drive across the country
Terrible country.
to do something so heinous like that? That's what I want to know.
What did he do, Cliff? I've not followed the story.
Oh, we shot 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen who were on duty in Washington, D.C., one of whom died and one of whom is in critical condition.
That is tragic.
Yeah.
But I've seen things in this country when it happens. Most lawyers, to Americans as well, most lawyers they say he's deranged, he's mentally psycho, and all that. But it seems something here. If it happens to someone who doesn't look like us, we don't equally react in that manner. Isn't it equally very, very questionable how our emotions are quick to really condemn something that doesn't fit our own manners and something that comes to home? We try to camouflage it and make it and paint it in such a way that it will appeal emotions.
Well, you said doesn't look like us. I was thinking, well, he looks more like me than you.
No, it doesn't matter, but he is. It's not a question of the looks. We look in this situation. We are looking past the looks, because if he were, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to go deeply, because you are the most senior, who has the most international experience than all of us. So when I speak, the others may doubt it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're quick to say, how is this person different from us? Whoever us is. I think it's terrible. And you're right. What if he is mentally deranged? We don't go around executing the mentally deranged.
Why?
Why? Because they don't have real free will.
Oh, bye-bye. Go back to God. Go back to your maker.
And not trying to justify the whole, like I said, death penalty thing, but regardless, if you are mentally deranged and the lawyer is able to put a solid argument forth for that, you still drove from Washington State to Washington, D.C., preyed on two, I'm pretty sure they were unarmed National Guards, and shot both of them in the head. It doesn't matter who it was done to, that is still a heinous crime. You shot two unarmed people. All right, let's separate the whole National Guard thing, which I know that's really what's hitting home, but that was still two people you drove across the country to borderline execute. One of them actually executed. So how deranged are you if you're able to plot that out? I just don't think that it is okay. I don't think that we need to be justifying things. The point is that he drove across the country and shot two individuals in the head. Whether it was a National Guardsman, whether it was civilian, whether it was Mexican, why, it doesn't matter. The point is he drove across the country and shot two individuals in the head. Mothers, well, at 20 probably not, but somebody's kids, nephews. That's the whole point. We can't turn a blind eye to the fact that that is not okay.
Let's look at it from the legal part. The law says, and definition of murder, this was planned. It didn't happen. He just wasn't walking down the street and said, "Oh, I'm going to shoot these guys." He went across the country to do something to kill people. So under the law, that's murder, because it was with purpose. It was with planning. So the law says if you murder people, there are penalties to that. And part of the penalties can be the death penalty. So it's up to the prosecutors now, once they, move forward with all the indictments and all the other stuff, and to determine what they want to go after. They have options. And one of the options is the death penalty. And whether he was, quote, mentally deranged or had mental health issues or not, he was sane enough to, in his mind, say, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to drive across the country, and I'm going to kill somebody. So, I mean, that's, there's a consequence for that. And that's up to the prosecutors now and a jury to decide.
Well, I think you bring up a very good point. I believe that at that point, it becomes what they call capital murder, which is premeditated murder, so it's murder one. Am I correct? Or something along those lines?
I believe it would be murder one, yes.
Because it's premeditated murder, so he can actually get charged with capital murder. So unless it's a state, which in Washington, D.C., I don't know if they're a state with the death penalty. Once it becomes capital murder, premeditated murder, I'm pretty sure that's when they push the death penalty.
But in my position, it is very, very tragic and terrible to take the lives of innocent people who probably are simply doing their job. I'm just saying that this is not the first time, and horrible situations have happened, and happen in such a way that people have done worse things, and people see the evidence that it was the people were saying, they premeditated, they planned it, they acted it. A good example, the one who walked in a church, they fed him in South Carolina, was it South Carolina or North Carolina, and murdered these people. Unless we have a very short memory span. Was the general cry not saying that he was mentally deranged? If you consider that action in a religious place where people have considered you and prayed with you, you still go and do that. And then there are some people who are saying that it is mentally deranged. That is what I'm saying.
I agree with you, Fru, and the thing is whether people have mental issues or not, anybody who wants to murder somebody has a mental issue. Let's be honest about that. Nobody who is in their right mind is going to go out and kill people. So there is an issue there in their brain, but they still committed an act, and under the law there are consequences to that act they committed, and that you need to prosecute them and make them accountable for what they did.
Very well, Mike. And then another thing is, if you are mentally deranged, and only mentally deranged to inflict pain on some other person, if you are mentally deranged, cut your arm. Where you will feel the pain, will know that you are mentally deranged. That's what I'm saying, that when it happens, people use that excuse. You set the precedence that everyone will use that. If you are mentally deranged and cannot hurt yourself because you know that the pain you will feel the pain. You are only saying mentally deranged in saying how you inflict pain on someone else. Those statements that lawyers come and base on where you look and who stands there, it's the biasness. It should be a level playing field, and there is no level playing field in the world.
Okay, boys, I'm going to blast through these texts. I know Eileen's here, but I haven't heard from her yet. Why is it not the gun's fault? Respectfully, if he's mentally unstable, then he wasn't vetted for this. If the dishonest media had the guts, then they'd ask President Biden and VP Harris their opinion on the shooting of the two National Guard soldiers. Good angle. Cheer us up, Mike. Tell us what the weather's like down in Florida. First snowstorm and the season's on the way in lovely Lowell. Back over to you, Cliff.
Actually, Biden did make a comment about the shootings, just for that person who sent the text, and he said it was horrible and terrible. So, just so that person knows that. And the weather's supposed to be 80 today in Florida for our other texter, and it's supposed to be sunny. So I just am trying to help out the audience.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good morning, Eileen.
I just saw a notification. The snow we're supposed to get is like 9 inches of cement-like snow. So it sounds like it's going to be a doozy of a first storm.
Oh, my private weather forecaster said half an inch. And did your mother and your aunt hold you down and pour dye over your head?
Dye? What do you mean? Oh, no. Oh, that's a headband.
Are we going to hear from Rowan Murphy?
No, we figured it would be better just to have her come in studio instead of do a Zoom. So we'll do it another day, Miss Mayor.
A student at Great Lowell Technical High School?
Yes.
Ambition. So I did see that somebody apparently said, well, if they hadn't been there, they wouldn't have been killed. Well, who else would have been killed? I mean, this guy had a rage. He was...
Mike, the viewer is
on that.
The viewer is appreciative of your remarks about Biden. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's to say that comment, if they hadn't been there, they wouldn't have been killed. That's just somebody who has everything against Trump. And whether you like him or not, there was issues in D.C. They sent people in there. They don't deserve to be killed. I don't understand that person's thinking. It's like, well, it's okay that if they hadn't been there, they wouldn't have been killed. Well, yeah, so what? But to say that shows no empathy or sympathy for the persons who were shot, and that bothers me.
Good point, Mike.
I agree with that, especially after it happened, leading up to Thanksgiving. I go on my Facebook, and some of the comments that I was, the posts that I was seeing about fully just targeting every single immigrant and this and that, we're too quick to, we don't even mourn it. We just automatically jump into politicizing everything. I've expressed that. I can't stand that here many times, where it becomes an Afghan nationalist. He's an illegal. Some of the comments that I was seeing on there were just gross. At the end of the day, where's your sympathy for the family of the two victims? Instead, it automatically turns into, Biden this, and it's just so much hate coming from these posts. And again, where's the sympathy? Are you outraged that these families are going to bed knowing that one's gone and one's in the hospital? Or are you outraged because it was not to really touch much on what Fru was saying, but because an immigrant did it? You're blurring the line, and I'm not judging everybody from it, but boy, like I said, some of those comments I seen, some of those posts were just, especially as a fellow immigrant myself, it was kind of like, oof, it's tough pill to swallow.
Well, moving on to Beacon Hill, they're talking down there about reparations for slavery. So there's a bill moving through the State House that will establish a special commission to study feasibility and implementation of reparation payments and draft a formal apology on behalf of Massachusetts residents. For Jose, we lost your picture. There you go. You're moving. So, the joint bill filed by Representative Russell Holmes of Boston and State Senator Liz Miranda of 2nd Suffolk so it's been taken up by the Joint Committee on the Judiciary. So I got some questions about this. I have more questions than answers, actually. Are we apologizing for slavery, all slavery, or just 1619 until the 13th Amendment?
Cliff, how did slavery slide into the National Guard incident?
I terminated the National Guard incident.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
So,
A comment from the audience? Right away, the horrible media tried blaming President Trump for his role in the shooting. That's from Jay. Back to you, Cliff.
so, okay. And who gets the apology? Fru? Me? Those enslaved by the Barbary Coast pirates? And in my mind, isn't the real issue redlining? Which, I mean, we have an all-black college set up in 1865. That's progress, doing good. But redlining was a terrible thing. I don't know.
Would you explain to the audience what you mean by redlining?
Redlining was a process whereby certain people couldn't get home loans in certain districts. Certain people, being black people, were not given an opportunity to get homes in upscale neighborhoods. So to get...
Cliff, my real question is here. What do they hope to accomplish by doing this? I thought that we're trying to move forward. Everybody knows that slavery was wrong. I mean, any normal person should know slavery was wrong. And it was a bad part of our history. But we've moved forward from that. So what is the purpose of doing this? What is their real purpose? And who do you give reparations to? I mean, do you have to trace everybody back to that their family had slaves, and that's who you give reparations to? And how much do you give them? And how is that going to make things better now? I just think it's going to make things more divisive. You know, we know that's a bad part of our history, but we're moved forward. And why do we want to go backwards in the sense? Kids are taught in school. They know about slavery. They know how wrong that was. I don't know of anybody personally myself that would say that it was a good thing. So we've moved forward in society since then.
I just want to barge in with this. Slavery in the form of modern slavery is present in countries worldwide, affecting every continent. Countries with the highest prevalence include North Korea, Eritrea, Mauritania, India, China, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Tajikistan. So slavery continues through today, and we don't call these countries out. We buy a lot of our clothing from India. We want to make friends with North Korea. Saudi Arabia, we get our oil from. We love the Turks. So why aren't we calling them out on slavery? Back over to you, Cliff.
Well, Cliff. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was watching a discussion and a debate like that with world-renowned intellectuals, and what Mike said equally came on. And these are not my words. Mark it. I'm just interpreting what I was watching. They equally compare that what happened for the Holocaust and now that is being pursued, and saying that what is it that when it comes to slavery. People say, let's forget and move on. And then so many other things, so many other groups have happened. These are their words. And they dwelt on this, and that it still happens today. The redlining that you talk, it still happens today for those who for the victims. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but it is ingrained in the system, because sometimes redlining can just come from you picking up the phone and calling. Someone knows your accent or so. They will make a decision based on that. And even sometimes, if you cannot, they cannot determine it by your accent online. When you show up, what they were expecting, they see a difference. Redlining also applies. So redlining is very, very hidden these days than it was publicly. So, I mean, it's like a chameleon. It changes colors.
Well, I agree with you, Fru. There's still discrimination. I agree with that. But
Comment from the audience.
I don't
Reparations.
understand the slavery issue. You know, we have to deal with our country about it, and people are taught it. So
then you apologize for your country, not just bringing it from what Cliff said. Who are we apologizing? Who are we? When once that comes up, let that happen. Why also you are holding and to saying sorry? We should not just verbally do it, because those victims, as well as I was hearing that debate, the horrible atrocities that happened at the Holocaust, those memories are still haunting us till today. And I mean, if you feel in that, me who never went through that, you would not really feel the pain that is haunting those people even up today, their children and all whatnot.
yeah, I understand.
Hey, gentlemen, let me read. The audience says reparations was created by a bunch of grifters promising free stuff to ignorant individuals who are willing to accept it. Back over to you, Cliff.
I'd like to chime in. If you got a second here.
Is it's an apology for slavery one of those things like land apologies that just go on forever, or can we give an apology and then all of us move on?
It shouldn't just only be in words, because if you look what happened in Germany and in Europe after the war, the Marshall Plan had to physically do something. If you look what happened with the Japanese, they had to do something. If you look what has happened to other similar situations, it's not only in words, but they do something.
So what? I don't think anybody's trying to forget slavery. You know, is there some people? I'm Mexican. Meaning that in any given year, everybody loves Mexican. And then, wait 4 months, and there's nobody worse in this world than a Mexican. That's the reality of it. I mean, but, and it's a touchy subject, obviously, just like everything else, but I don't think anybody is trying to forget slavery. I think the question comes, and you guys know I like to just get to the facts here. What does reparations look like? And who, like Cliff said, who gets it? So, that one family that was treated horribly, which we all agreed. I mean, like he stated earlier, I don't think I know anybody that's like, oh, no, that was a great time in history. We should go back to them. I mean, that's just, you're a horrible human being if you feel that way. And who gets reparations? So it's a very, things are definitely, in a world right now where we have more minority-owned companies in the Fortune 500, there's always going to be work to be done. There's always going to be, but and again, as a Mexican, we can sit here and we can talk about how half of the United States belongs to Mexico and this and that, and I'm not trying to downplay But at what point, moving forward, I just don't feel that anybody's really trying to erase slavery or forget the injustices that were done to. I mean, it wasn't just African Americans; it was Asian Americans. Just because of the color of your skin doesn't, just like you said, Africa is not just a country; it's a continent. Not every single, for better lack of terms, colored, black, whatever you want to say, wasn't necessarily from Africa. There was people from Haiti. There was people from other parts of the world too, and you know that more than me. So I just think that that's definitely almost one of those subjects where it's almost more to entice, divide. I mean, what does reparations look like? Everybody gets a
Okay, I think we got it, Jose. Eileen just sent me this little reminder that it's going to snow. Now, maybe this lady, as beautiful as she is full of Coca-Cola. Maybe she's not, but it would be a good opportunity to go and find your snow shovel. See what you need if it is going to snow. Take a walk around and see what your snowblower is going to eat up today. See if there's any branches outside or rocks or cinder blocks in your path where you're going to take your snowblower tomorrow. Good day to walk around the neighborhood and get ready for the storm and go get some gas for your car. Back over to you, Cliff.
Okay. We've probably beaten this.
But Cliff, I just also want I'll be very brief.
Yeah.
When once you are sick and feeling the pain, if you are telling people that you have a pain, if you have your own pain, create time to go and see the doctor and let them diagnose it. Okay? Because in this situation, it seems like people who have pain are saying that they have pain and this is how they feel. But people if you are bringing your own situation, say for you, speak for yourself, and don't try to downplay what the others are saying.
Well, I don't think that and I'll play it back later.
No, it's not, Jose. It's not for you. I'm talking. It is general, not for you, please.
No, and I mean, you're right. But just like we talked about earlier about when I said people were blaming, and I'm getting ready for work. That's why I shut my camera. People were quick to blame Biden, but like somebody else texted in right away, it was, oh, if Trump didn't send the National Guards, this never would have happened. And I think it was you that brought up the point. Yeah, but or John, then who would have got it? Who else would have been? So we can always deflect. We can always, well, it's okay that I did something horrible because you did something worse. No, but we need to be able to have logical conversations. I mean, I don't think that anybody in this room is downplaying what happened during slavery, and we just have to find a clear path forward. That's really what we need to do, is how do we keep progressing and make things better.
Yeah. I think that this is we need a long conversation on this, and we need to listen to everybody, especially those who have suffered one way or another because of slavery. Because we do know, for instance, that there is a financial...
And stop buying oil, Cliff. Stop buying oil. Stop buying clothes made in India. If you really want to do something about it, hit them in the pocketbook. Don't just look the other way and I'm going to go fill up my car with gas from Saudi Arabia. I'm going to go buy a new suit from India. Stop it. Stop buying that stuff. I got to read these texts. I don't have to. I'm going to read these texts. And it says, the only one happy will be Mike in Florida Wednesday morning. Hit the golf ball straight on Wednesday, Mike. That's from Jay. The first person who should be asked about slavery is V.P. Harris. Didn't her ancestors own slaves? I'm not surprised the knuckleheads on Beacon Hill are looking for reparations. The Democrats are not the brightest bulb on the tree. Let's talk about slavery. That's happening in Africa right now. They enslave their own citizens. If this country is so full of racism and bad hombres, then why are people storming our shores to get here? That's the last text. Back over to you, Cliff.
About the person who talks about Africa, ignorance always projects itself in what people say. Someone who is born here and the city has never left the city to even see Washington will be an expert to talk about Africa. That is the travesty.
Yeah, that is a problem. So I'm sure we'll have more opportunities to discuss this.
Can I just say one thing before, because Fru's running out of time. He's going to be skedaddling. So this slavery bit, if you're about to go buy one of these little robots that's going to clean your house, if you have one of these vacuum cleaners that goes around your house, when AI gets up to your brain speed, you're going to jail for having that little slave in your house. I mean that on the lighter side of things. Back over to you, Cliff.
Okay, so the Epstein files were released, and so far the only one who's gotten tainted was former Harvard president, former U.S. Secretary of Treasury Larry Summers. Anybody else that we know of?
Nothing yet. Nothing that I know of.
Okay. And keeping with the presidents, what's with the Democrats in Congress raising the issue of illegal orders from the chain of command? I mean, I got 4 years as a cadet, 30 years on active duty, 30 years retired. This is the first time this has been a public issue. Does anybody have any thoughts? Are we worried about President Trump issuing illegal orders?
It's just all political. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to find stuff because the other things that they were using before are not working. So they're just trying to find, they're using the affordability issue now. Now they're putting in there with people in our military, to think about whether that's legal or not. The problem is do the people in the military there know, how do they determine if something's legal or not legal? And if they decide to not follow it, the consequences to them could be severe. In the military, that's very severe if you don't follow orders. So.
Anybody else have any thoughts on this? Eileen, you're being...
Well,
oh, go ahead.
I don't have any thought, but I think that some of the people who are serving who were agitating, they had served in the military and went up the high ranks, so they know what they are saying because they have been part of it. I just watch what they are doing.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. I didn't realize my mic was still on. Sorry about that.
Okay. I think it's a tempest in the teapot, but that's just me. So
I think that, real quick, definitely being used in a way to, I'll be right back, to poop on what Trump is doing for the most part, from what I've seen, whether you agree with it or not, they've kind of followed, for the most part, the proper channels, whether it was using, like right now, they had been trying to cut back on, immigration from what he calls third world countries, what he really calls them behind the scenes. And the second that the opportunity presented itself now, which is horrible. We were just talking about this with what happened in Washington, D.C. Boom, shut it down. You know? So as much as we or whoever it is disagrees with what they're doing, for the most part, they are playing within, they're coloring within the lines. So I think this is just another way to try to have the American people lose its faith, whatever little faith or whatever it is in the administration.
Now, is it too late to transition, John?
Yep.
Okay, folks, this is the live show now, and I read a review of the new Ken Burns movie from the Boston Globe, Mark Arsenal, and it's actually a Ken Burns series on the American Revolution, and I think that the conclusion I drew from this review was that most of us are striving to make things better, but it's not easy. And then, what should our standards be? There was a 22-point loss among senior women, high school senior women, on interest in getting married and having a family. It's 61% right now of 12th graders female. On the other hand, 74% of high school boys would like to have a marriage. I mean, this doesn't sound very good to me.
And Cliff, we still don't have marriage school, do we?
No.
They're working on it with parent school.
The fact is, no one's working on it. No one's working on parent school or marriage school. We keep repeating ourselves. We don't teach personal finance, which is the foundation for most of our education and marital problems.
But John,
You really couldn't come up with an argument there.
but what was parent school in 1950?
Cliff, in 1950, you didn't have to pay for cell phones, cable TV, or any of the other crap you're paying for now, internet. Right now, people are paying for their cell phone, their internet, whatever other cable TV. They didn't have those expenses. There's $300 going out the window. Now you take the $300 and you hand everybody in America $3,000 at Christmas time, they're going to have a better Christmas. But no, they got their cell phone, they got their internet, they got their cable TV. $300 a month gone out the window. Plus a car. Everybody's got a car. 1950, there was one car. You can have the car when Dad gets home. Ma couldn't go anywhere during the day because Dad had the car. Now everybody's got a car payment for everybody. Cliff, they're letting 21-year-old kids buy an $80,000 Silverado today. And you got some knucklehead bank that will give that 21-year-old the money to buy an $80,000 pickup truck. Banks are in this mess too. I'm done talking.
I just saw something the other day that actually really reminded me of what you're talking about right now. It said like in the 1940s, 50s, to buy a TV was like $500. So a family could, similar to what you just said now, tying up the belt, And it took, I think it was like what you would buy 10 TVs with to put a down payment on a house. Fast forward to 2025, and the numbers are fully accurate. It was late at night and I watched the video. Now, you can buy a 50-inch TV for $500. It would take 1,200 TVs to put a down payment on a house. So I guess the comparison is like, yes, you are correct. We are definitely splurging a lot more than we would have even when I was growing up in the 90s, you know. But also the cost of everything, home ownership, cars, things like that, has just gotten out of control.
I'm going to read these texts to you. It says, that's where Sunday school and church school comes into play to educate children on marriage and parenting. Okay, that's one avenue you can certainly take. The decline of the family is created by people who are a slave to the devices and are interested only in their opinions. Thank you for your comments.
I do wonder, we had created a big Department of Education at the federal government level, and I think quality of education is not improved as a result. Has it, Eileen? Eileen?
There?
Cliff, I'll take that one. We have a public that doesn't process what's really happening in school well, gets lousy direction from the school department, and what do you expect if a plumber comes to your house? I know you love to help the plumber. You carry his pipes in, you carry in his tools, but I don't help the plumber at all. He shows up, go fix that. Thank you. I don't help the guy at all. Same thing when the roofer comes or what. I don't help the guy at all. Say, hey, see that hole in the roof up there? Take care of it. Reading this text. Back in the 50s, you had accountability. Parents who didn't get pushed around by their children. Well, what do you do? You got the single mom entity out there. Times have changed a lot, and we haven't changed at all.
Yes. And I agree with everything John just said when he answered that question also.
You're a genius, Eileen.
Thank you.
Okay. So, what about peace in Ukraine, peace in the Middle East? Anybody have any quick thoughts? No?
What was that again, Cliff? I couldn't hear it.
I'm sorry, peace in the Middle East, peace in Ukraine. Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, they have a ceasefire for the for Israel and in that area, but I mean, there's still stuff going on. I just saw Israel went in and did an attack this last week. Ukraine-Russia one, nothing's going to happen until somebody squeezes Putin so hard that he cries uncle, because he doesn't care how many people die, and as long as he's getting the money from oil for his country, he can fuel that war forever. He can fuel it forever. So he does not care about how many people die, what's going on in his country, because there's no democracy there. He'll keep going unless the oligarchs start losing money or something happened to them and they may put pressure on him. But he's been there for over 20 years and nothing's changed. He wants the Soviet Union back. And if he can win over in Ukraine, he'll look at the other countries that split off. He'll go after them too. So until they squeeze him hard enough, he's not going to stop. He doesn't care. And that's why, I don't know if Trump has the will to squeeze him hard enough. That's until they cut Russia off from their finances and their income. Putin will just continue. He'll just keep going.
Comment from the audience. It's been pretty cold around here since Labor Day. Time to push global cooling. How dangerous is that in our future?
I agree with you 100% on the Russia situation, where we're not giving him a reason to not, stop what he's doing and trying to bring the Soviet Union back. I mean, he proved that when he invaded Georgia. I don't think that he's ever showed evidence of wanting anything but to put Russia back together, to the Soviet Union. And, some people are scorpions, some people are frogs, and he's definitely a scorpion, But given the opportunity, he will be back to try to regain power.
Yep.
Let me ask this question. Why did we take Russia Today out of our media? Russia Today was news from Russia. And why that got taken away? It's because Russia has no voice in America. I would love to see Saudi Arabian news, Russian news, North Korean news, and let's watch their propaganda. What are they really saying about America? And this is we're being fueled by what our media tells us. Now, the only reason we know more than 150 people died in a fire is because somebody squealed on Hong Kong. China is red hot mad that Hong Kong made the news. Because things like that don't happen in China. Yes, they do. So I wish the media would put on the news from North Korea, from Saudi Arabia, and from Russia, and let the Americans watch it. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's thing about living in a military state borderline where, even their own people don't get, the proper information put forth to them. It's like they're in the Desert Storm, and the U.S., at least legend has it, the U.S. was providing aid, and Saddam Hussein grabbed all the Iraqis and threw them out in the desert in tents and kept feeding them information saying, this is what the U.S. saying, this is what the U.S. did, where we don't have, we are quick to judge freedom of speech and freedom of the press, but we've had it good for so long, we don't actually see the other side.
Comment from the audience, Russia only got more power and wealth when the price of oil and gas was so expensive.
Yeah, well, that's true. And there was an artificial, in my mind, artificial effort to raise the price.
I just want to add on to that, Cliff, is that the people that are working in the war industries in Russia, because I've read a bunch of articles and looked into it, they're doing fine because they're getting paid good and they're doing fine. But Russia doesn't have an unlimited amount of people to send to war. I mean, right now they're having more and more. They used to be able to get the prisoners and get other people to come and do it, but that's getting harder and harder for them to do. And it is really, really going to affect them eventually. Because Ukraine's not going to give up. As long as they can still keep fighting, they're not going to give up. So it's a war of attrition right now, obviously. But until they can squeeze, as I said, they can squeeze Putin to make it uncomfortable and not good for him. He has no incentive to change what he's doing. And if you saw the recent attacks on this last weekend, he's at full force going after everything.
As you can see on your screen, the Orange guys, this is a disappointment when it comes to war. He said he would end them in one day. Lots of dough to be made on bombs, missiles, tanks, fighter jets, etc. That's from Bart. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah. Speaking of the Orange Man, we still don't have a budget for fiscal year 2026. We just have a continuing resolution that goes into January, I think. So we're still dealing with those same issues of what are we going to do with health benefits? I think that's the big one. And I think it's pretty obvious that the Affordable Care Act is not. But I don't think we can afford to keep bumping up the national debt for health care. We need to find some better look at this thing. Is anybody got a different view on this? And is this Red Square, John?
Yes, it is. Live on YouTube right now, Red Square in Moscow. Nice Christmas tree. People look like they're shopping. They got their shopping bags going here. Plenty of traffic. So it doesn't look like a country at war at all, does it? Does it look like the Russians are suffering there?
No, it does not.
Back over to you, Cliff.
Well, if the Ukrainians had the long-range missiles and they attacked the capital, then things might be different. But that capital is quite a ways away from Ukraine, so that's why it doesn't look like there's an issue. But you ask the people whose sons and daughters that are being put up in the war, all the dead soldiers coming back. I think you need to have a talk with those people, because there's a lot of people that are suffering there. But because it's a dictatorship, they have no say in the matter.
Yeah. So,
what you were saying about the Affordable Care Act, I mean, this is something that should have been done since it came into play. I mean, we all talked about it on the show before, where the Affordable Care Act wasn't to solve everything. It was intended to be a conversation started, and both sides dropped the ball on it. And that's the reality of it.
Well, the Supreme Court, when they voted that it was considered when they made their decision on the Affordable Care Act, that's when things started rolling. We have too much bureaucracy in our healthcare system. Being a person that's already on Social Security and Medicare, and that the bureaucracy and all the stuff. I mean, they send me every month, even though I told them I don't want paper statement. They send me every month on anything, whether I've had anything charged or not, for my account for Medicare. Why are they doing that? And the amount of people you have to go through that are handling your when you have any kind of health issues, it's crazy on how much is involved there.
I'm with you, Mike. I was thinking about it the same day, but that's my mother's job. This is on YouTube. It's 2:30 in the afternoon in the Ukraine. And they want us to believe this is the live webcam shots from Ukraine. So there's a lot of propaganda happening. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Why is it so dark? A lot of propaganda coming out of Ukraine. Back over to you, Cliff.
yeah,
I mean,
you could go ahead, Mike, and then I'll explain.
the healthcare is just, I mean, the cost. I mean, right now, look at Medicare. I'm going to go through them because I deal with it. Medicare Part B. Why is that increasing so much every year? Why does that need to keep going up and up and up like it is? I mean, who's managing all the different things in Medicare? I'm on Medicare Advantage, I like it, but the insurance companies are making some big money off this. So what is the government getting for that money they're paying? Because right now, it seems like things just keep going up, and then on Medicare Advantage, the benefits go down. So people after a while are saying, where's all the money going? Because is it going to help people or is it not?
With regard to John's question about why is it so dark, my initial thought was, well, maybe it's a lot further north than...
It's 2:30 in the afternoon in Ukraine.
Yeah, I understand, but...
Here's another crisp, clear shot from Ukraine.
Yeah? Well, that looks a little lighter than the...
So tell me what's going on in any one of these pictures, Cliff.
Okay, so right now, I just looked it up, John. Sunset is at 3:57 p.m. in Ukraine.
So it's an hour and a half, 90 minutes out.
A lot earlier than us.
90 minutes out. I'll try Kiev.
Yeah, Kiev. Sun goes down at about 4 o'clock today there.
Let's see what kind of live cameras we get from Kiev.
Well,
now, I can't click and blow one of these up like I could at work, but looks like the cars are moving. Does it look like there's a country at war here?
Well,
I'll keep looking, but it doesn't look like a country at war to me.
Well, that's not the front line, though, right?
It's Kiev. When I used to do this, they had one camera in Kiev. Oh, here they are. Now they're dark again. It's 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to you, John. Except, I think the Russians fly their drones at night.
Well, this is Kiev's webcams. It's not Russia's. Oh, here they are back in daytime mode now. But let me try clicking this. They won't get big. Maybe they do. That's as big as I can make it. Doesn't look like it's at war anywhere. No blown up buildings. This looks a little ratty, but this could be suburbia. Here's the same security camera, same street. Same guy walking down the street. So these two are together. But it doesn't look like they're at war at all over there. I'm going to close that screen out, put Cliff back up. There you go, Cliff.
Okay. So, the Spectator a little while ago had an article that said the man to save the Democratic Party is Hunter Biden. One might have thought that he would just go away, but he has not gone away. And he comments on things, and maybe he represents the middle Democrat. What do you think? Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Hunter thinks he can do anything he wants because he had a blanket pardon for anything he did or was thinking about doing. So
was that an electronic pen?
Yep. So he got his super get out of jail free card from his dad. And so why would he think that change his behavior on how he thinks that he knows everything and he can say whatever he wants? I mean, there was no consequence to his actions before, so he just keeps on going. You know, the family's got money. He got a blanket pardon. So why, he thinks he can just say or do anything he wants. Is he relevant? He's not relevant. I mean, I don't see anybody on the major news is having him on shows weekly to talk about, what he knows or doesn't know. And I know that there's been things that they've said, well, he's the only one who could save the party. If he's going to save the party, I'd change parties. But, he's just something for them to run on the news, but he's not relevant. He doesn't really have any influence. I don't see any influence where he's up there with the leaders of the Democratic Party and trying to make decisions.
How about
agree with you on this.
Eileen? You got any feelings for Hunter?
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was actually still on. I don't know. Is there anything he can do with his super pardon that could help us all? Right? Besides doing cocaine? I mean, is there anything else he can do?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he knows secrets that the others would like kept.
And that could help us? That's the only way I could see it. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure he knows secrets, but he's not, with his family and that, but he's not going to say anything. So.
Comment from the audience. It's usually a picture of a homeless guy in the common. Thanks for the refreshing picture of Ukraine. Big Red Dog. It's Honest Hunter. Remember his artwork? Vincent Van Hunter. Good point.
After seeing some of his artwork, there's hope for me, who can barely draw stick figures. So,
Jose,
You pointed out. Go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like it was pointed out here, and I've never even known a side of Hunter Biden that was quote unquote even slightly in politics or involved in anything other than scandal. So how is he going to be? Is the Democratic Party in that big a shambles right now that he's the savior?
Jose, we need to hear you a little tighter on the mic, please.
Yep. Sorry about that. Just give me 1 second. I just got in the truck, so let me see what I can do here.
All right. Is that a little better?
Perfect. Yep.
All right. Again, I just got in the truck heading to Acton. But as far as I'm concerned, and I like to follow politics pretty closely, I've never thought of Hunter Biden as somebody that, even had an opinion when it came to politics, yet alone a political mind that's going to save the Democratic Party like that, So,
Well,
it just goes to prove where the Democratic Party is right now, where it's just scattered all over the place. Do you blame that on leadership? Do you blame that on the people? How do we find a better path forward?
plus, why don't we talk about Trump's kids? Because that's the third rail. The media's been told, don't talk about my kids. Third rail.
Yeah, at least we know them as business people,
Well, why don't we hear about what the Trump kids are doing?
Oh, no, I was just watching 60 Minutes last night, and they invested in, one of them invested like $10 million or something into this company. But yeah, no, you're right. You don't hear as much about them as...
I'm glad, Jose, I'm so happy you watched 60 Minutes. Now, when that Spanish guy was talking, when they said what he was saying in English, was it truthful?
I missed the second half.
They
But
had some
most of the
Spanish.
time,
I
I'll be
changed it
100% honest with you. Most of the time that you have a translator, it's all missed in translation.
because I was watching this kid. He had a baseball cap on. He's some kind of sports kid. And I went like, I don't understand what the heck they're talking about here. I'm not a sports guy, so I changed the channel. So I'm sorry you missed that part of the episode.
I wish I didn't, because then we could talk. Because like I said, most of the time, like somebody will say something, and then they translate it, and like it's like, what are you guys talking? I'm usually yelling at the TV at that point, like, that's not what they said, or that came off completely different than what they were trying to say, you
Okay.
jerks.
Well, maybe next time. Back over to Cliff.
That's not encouraging. So, the Pew Research Center last month looked at 12,000 U.S. adults, and 7 in 10 are say tipping is expected in more places today than it was 5 years ago.
Tipping?
Tipping.
That with a T? Like Thomas?
Do you see more tipping or less tipping? Eileen, you're out there. Is there tipping?
Like when you go to a restaurant?
Yes.
Oh, unless they screw up on their Monday night dinner people. No, there is tipping. I think it's probably less now though because everything's so much more expensive. When you go out to eat or you whatever.
I see an up ramp on the tipping. I got fast food joints where they'll, when you charge on your credit card, there's a line that says tip. The guy just handed me a submarine sandwich and they want a tip?
Right. That aggravates me so much.
Yeah, I don't give any tips for that. I mean, I don't go to fast food places very often at all, but, you know, to walk in there, I mean, every place now wants a tip. You get takeout. They want a tip on takeout now. If you're driving there to pick it up yourself, and they made the food, they're not serving you except just handing you the bag. I mean, it's ridiculous on all the places now that they want tips for everything, and you know, I choose where I'm giving tips. If I'm out at a restaurant and they're serving me and they're providing service, yeah, I give a tip for that. But you know, if you look now, the minimum tips you see on everything is, I think the very minimum I've seen is 18%. You don't even see 15% anymore as far as tips go. So it's gotten a little bit out of hand, I think, in some ways.
How about the fact that additionally, they don't even ask you, do you want a tip? They can't look you in the eye and say that. They turn the iPad or something around to you and expect you to choose while they're looking at you.
Yeah, I don't get intimidated by that. If I'm not going to give, there's a lot of times they've, you know, like I've been in an airport before and gotten coffee for Kathy at the counter there, and they want it, and they're a tip. I don't give tips for that. I mean, they're right there. You're picking up a coffee. I mean, why? That's their job to make the coffee.
Yeah, but
They
Michael,
didn't do anything.
they're looking for a tip before they make the product. You got to be careful, man. You want that coffee right? You want salt or sugar in that coffee?
Well, Kathy drinks it black, so I don't worry about that. So,
But what about the fact I guess we also have to question these restaurant management systems who are creating these programs that are basically making it so it's like that. How many times have any of you been to a takeout place or whatever, or even a store or a bakery maybe, right? And they're like, you have to choose if you want a tip or not, right? And then you have to figure out all of that and like say no. And it's usually harder to find no than it is the 18%, the 20%, the 15%, like, you know what I mean? So, like, for somebody who's just wants to pay and leave, they're making it more difficult for that too. And who's behind making these restaurant management programs like that? Because I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, if they paid their employees more, that wouldn't be the case. This is their way to do it. And don't forget now, tips, up to a certain amount with the new tax laws, tips are tax-free. So they want to encourage people to tip because that's income that they don't have to pay taxes on. So, I think that's some of it, what's driving it. Because that way those people can get, they end up with more money in their pocket long term because they're not taxing tips now. So but I don't have a problem. I know what you're saying, Eileen, but I don't have a problem. If I'm picking up a cup of coffee off the counter like at the airport, I see no reason I got to give a tip for that. That's their job. They're making coffee. That's what they're paid to do. They didn't have to come and, bring you more water or bring you more soda or coffee to the table. Take your order. Most of the times, a lot of these places too, is you did the order online. You did all the work. You order it all on your phone, and then you go pick it up at the restaurant or store or whatever. So they really didn't have to do anything except their job.
Jose, in the Mexican culture, is there tipping or not tipping?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I've been to Mexico once since I came here, but I think that a lot of the whole tipping thing now is a post-COVID thing where, we were tipping everybody because even the delivery driver at that point was, looked at as a hero for leaving the house and bringing you your food at that point, and now we're dealing with the residual backlash of it, where everywhere you go, I go get cookies at Crumble every so often, trying to cut back on that, but they same thing, 18 to I'm pretty sure it's like 30% tip.
Okay, I'm going to read these texts. You can't blame the people for asking for tips. The government doesn't ask you for tax money. They demand and give you a raise in 3 years. The Democrats will destroy each other, beat the daylights out of each other when it comes to running for president. In the next election cycle, it's going to be fun to watch. Another tip, remember, don't eat yellow snow. Just a reminder of us who live in New England. Good point. Well, would it behoove you when it says tip on there's a little slip there, say, can I speak to the manager for just a minute? And the manager, well, can I help you? Why don't you pay your employees a fair wage? Why are you asking for a tip? Why? What's going on here? And see what the manager has to say.
Yeah, in Europe, they don't do tipping in Europe, New Zealand, Australia, any of those places, because people, they do their job, they get paid a wage. I know with my son living in New Zealand, I think the minimum wage there is like $20 or $21 an hour. There's no tipping there. They don't expect that. They're doing their job, and that's what they get paid for it.
Good
that
point.
Opens up a whole different conversation now, where what's the federal minimum wage right now here in this country?
It's way too low.
I think it's 15. I'll check it.
Most states have passed their own laws to raise their minimum wage. They've all, most states, not every state. I know Florida's raised their minimum wage now. It's been going up. I think it's going to be next year or the year after. I think it's going to be $15 an hour minimum. So I think so.
Surprise, surprise, Mike. The minimum wage.
I knew the federal was way too low. I knew that. Yeah.
I'm going to read this. This is the U.S. minimum wage in 2025 varies state and locality, with the federal minimum wage $7.25 an hour. That's wickedly low. So the federal minimum wage, $7.25. Back over to you,
That's what I
Cliff.
was doing when I got my first job when I was 14 years old.
Well, besides the minimum wage issue, there's the question of can you get 40 hours? I have a grandson who's working for UPS, but he can't get 40 hours worth of work. So he's had to take a second job.
Yeah, that's what a lot of companies are doing now because of the way the state and federal guidelines are. If they keep their employee below a certain amount of hours, they don't have to provide health care and all the other benefits. So they'll hire you for, say, $17 an hour, but you only get 25 hours a week, and then that's all you get. And yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. There was a conversation brought up during the government shutdown about how Walmart, Amazon, like some of these big corporations that are, billion-dollar corporations, have more employees on staff and some sort of assistant than your average smaller company because of that. Because they don't, you can, we'll pay you decent money. We'll pay you $15 an hour, but you're only working 31 and a half hours because at 32 they have to provide, some sort of services, whether it's paid time off or healthcare or whatever. So they keep people right above, like right at that poverty line where they need the government subsidies to survive.
Yeah. That is true.
What do we call that? The EBT card. That was cut off during the
SNAP benefits.
SNAP benefits. Thank you. Apparently, there are thousands of people on Amazon who are getting SNAP benefits. There are a couple thousand people at Brigham and Women Hospital that are on SNAP benefits.
Cliff, they give courses how to get benefits. It's this article about when are you full-time, when do you have to have benefits, it looks to be 30-plus hours. So if they hire you for 29 hours, you're never going to get benefits.
So it's like one hand washes the other, like a big company like Amazon and Walmart help the government to continue with the benefits.
Yeah.
And who's getting all the tax breaks? Who's getting all these benefits from the government to stay here so we don't lose the jobs? Same companies that are putting people in this, hamster wheel where they need to rely on those benefits. So, it's one, but what's the alternative? So, all right, everybody that works at Walmart quit tomorrow until, go on strike until we get, full time and benefits, and then we can get you. That's never going to happen,
I got two comments from the audience. With the introduction of AI and automated systems in place, tipping jobs will go bye-bye. It's not a demand that you tip them. They're just asking, you can refuse. You can't refuse to pay the government. Those dirtbags have their hands on all fours, in all four of your pockets at the same time. Thanks, Bart.
So, in today's Lowell Sun, there's a column every once in a while called Written in Granite, which is some opinion from New Hampshire. And the person who writes the column was all upset with Trump's vicious attacks on the press. I haven't, in my mind, I haven't seen that just because he called some press reporter Miss Piggy. But he does seem to feel pretty fast and easy with serving up the insults to the press. Do we think this is a bad thing, an okay thing? deserved thing. I don't know who Miss Piggy is. Was she,
Cliff, I think it's certainly fair. It's about doggone time that as the President of the United States, I can say, I gave you an answer yesterday. You twisted the answer completely different. I watched you rebroadcast what came out of my mouth, and you twisted the answer. You're a liar. Sit down and shut up. What's wrong with that? Over to you, Cliff.
well, I'm not sure I see anything wrong with that. But it's a question of,
You don't see anything wrong with a reporter. I asked Cliff a question. Cliff, how often do you sweep the front of your house? And you come back with an answer. I have a leaf blower and I blow off the front of my house every Saturday afternoon. Every Saturday I do it. And I come back with a report. Cliff Krieger never sweeps the front of his house. Is that, and that's okay in your book?
no.
Well, what did you just say?
I said that I think that the president could be a little more polite in how he speaks to people.
He's an infotainment, Cliff. It's infotainment. If it wasn't chuckable, laughable, it wouldn't be on. Now, Cliff, you've misquoted me. Please sit down. I'm not going to take any questions from you for a week. How entertaining is that?
But what do other people think?
Go ahead, Mike.
You're talking about Trump being more polite? He's from New York City. That's not going to happen. I lived in New York all my life till recently. And even though I didn't live in New York City, it's a whole different culture in New York City. I mean, they're not known for being rude by accident, so they'll tell you straight to your face on what they think. So, I mean, Trump's not going to change. He's going to make his comments, whether you like them or not, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Jose?
I mean, he's not wrong. At the end of the day, we elected a real estate agent from Queens. I mean, what do we expect? Do I agree with it? You're the president. We set the standard, but at the end of the day, you get what you can't have buyer's remorse now. I mean, this is how he was before. This is how he was last term. This is what we got,
Eileen?
He's been like that for 30 years. I mean, if you ever saw the show The Apprentice, I mean... Let's hear
what Eileen has to say.
Oh, I mean, for me personally, not understanding all the politics nationwide and everything, and if it was just a president to go along with it and make word salad, I wouldn't understand issues as much as I currently do, because I feel like he just stops them in their tracks and say, no, that's not correct. And so it helps me to kind of decipher what's true, what's not, what's word salad, what's the other stations trying to portray. So, I don't know. I kind of like it.
Okay.
He's accessible. You got to say one thing for that. He's very accessible. He's answering questions every day, whether you like him or not. He takes any question just about.
Well, one thing, though, that does bother me is I keep hearing advertisements on the TV for Trump watches. That seems a little unseemly to me for the president to be hawking merchandise.
He was selling the Bible before the election, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My problem will be is if the other side puts up a president that behaves the same way, that talks the same way, and all of a sudden now everybody that was on board with this, what's referred to as rhetoric and, propaganda and trying to, profit from the office, is everybody going to be okay with it?
Oh.
Or are we going to revert back to, well, the other side had a
it's
problem.
not frozen.
We
He
have
lost
a
his
problem
sound.
with it, too.
Wait a minute. I know what it is. My sound.
You know, so we just got to make sure that if we're okay with John saying something, we have to be okay with Jose saying something too, you know? That would be my only issue with it.
Reading two comments from the audience, the press deserve everything they get. The lies and dishonest propaganda they spread, different sentence. Remember when President Biden was on top of the game, never trust the media. Great show today was everyone's Thanksgiving dinner a home run. Mine was delicious.
Just a second. There's a question for you, John.
What's the question?
How the Greater Lowell Technical High School got involved in the City of Lights Parade?
Oh, they're involved every year. They always have a float.
Yeah, this year they did, Roger's Toy Store?
Yeah, that was great.
How awesome was that, huh?
Everything was great. I love Santa and all the reindeer. I want to know who did that one. That was a beautiful sleigh. The idiot box is being moved from the wall to a portable device to carry around with you. The young kids don't watch TV. MSN is yesterday. Informal information on social media is a new wave of risk kids trust. Good point. They're not accountable. What you read on Facebook is for old timers, and what you read on Instagram is, both outlets are very fuzzy when it comes to the truth.
Okay. So we're coming down towards, oh no, we still have 10 minutes to go.
8, but I'm listening to you.
All right, is everybody happy with the Smith Baker Center thing, or do we still think it might crumb?
I'm disappointed there's no end game. I said they gotta have the place, they gotta have a plan in place within 6 months or give it back.
Yeah.
But that's not what our city council, they went,
I thought they did put it, though, with the contract that they did with Northern Bank. I thought that pretty much Northern Bank was taking, because they weren't just going to fund the buying of the building, they went and funded the project through and through. So pretty much, if the people that got the Smith Baker end up not being able to move forward, now it's the bank's property. It's on the bank.
I hope I'm wrong, but a deadline is always helpful.
Yeah.
I hope they succeed. It's a beautiful building.
It
what
was,
they have planned for it.
it's
amazing.
it was a beautiful building, and it can be remade to be, but where are you gonna park?
That's a good one. It's sunny up here on Route 2. We're heading out to Acton. I can only see like half my face.
Oh, we can see, you look beautiful.
Okay, good.
Do you have any thoughts on Smith Baker? Is the school going to be able to take advantage of it?
No. Honestly, the Smith Baker is something that gets me confused, and I wish I could have somebody like Donald Trump try to explain it to me, tell you the truth. And I think when people are confused, the constituents, then the city always usually benefits in some way, and not our schools, not our school children.
How many more performance halls do you want to have in the city, Cliff? We got the one that Nancy Donahue paid for, used to be the Ryoto bowling lanes. We got the auditorium, and neither one of them has a line out the door to see performances. And here we're going to spend more money, and good luck to the yachts. I don't see them having a line out the door where they are.
Well, are there facilities that could benefit the schools, Eileen?
Well, I mean, we bought the John Dock, and that's not going to be ready due to elevator and repairs until I believe 2027. It's not going to come online. So we have a way of, acquiring buildings and then not being proactive to assure that they're going to be ready and set.
Eileen, as a school committee member, why didn't you tell Liam, Dr. Skinner, this will be ready the fall of 2026? When we go back to school in 2026, this fall, that school better be up and running. Why do we give him an extra year?
Well, we didn't. It has to do with ADA compliance, and the elevator's not going to be ready.
They're lying to you.
Well, I agree, but you can't really say that on the floor at the same time.
Well, yes, you can. You can say, I'm sorry, Dr. Skinner. No, he's not a doctor. I'm sorry, Liam. I find that impossible to believe.
And then now we've acquired that building and we're still paying rent to the building in the 80-day school. So it's just like people make these moves and then it's just, they leave it up to construction heaven.
Which one of our friends owns the 80-day school? Which one of our friends owns that school?
I believe Dave Daly owns that building.
Gotta keep sending Dave money. Send Dave more money. I don't even know Dave Daly. God bless the guy. Keep that money rolling in. It's like I'm expecting the senior center to go for $1. I guess that was the deal when we built it. But now I'm going to guess they're going to want more money. Let's screw the city. Yeah, that's a fun thing to do.
Story on the Washington school.
Oh, the Washington. What a hot mess that was with the ceilings, the roofs. The staff is just not happy. And, as much as we can be told that, the tests are in, I mean, there's some issues with these buildings and they need to be addressed. And it's like the easiest thing to do is to not address it.
The easiest thing to do is to hire your sister, hire your mother. Comment from the audience. If the Smith Baker was worth anything, the private investment would have grabbed it a long time ago.
True.
Good point.
So it's just another old sick building in Lowell that's not been taken care of.
Well, sadly, the auditorium couldn't pay to operate itself. We had to give away the ice rink, the Songus Arena, because we couldn't afford to maintain it. We had to give away the Spinners ballpark because we couldn't afford to maintain it. Lowell tries to spin its own wheel, God bless them, and we're always paying the bill. The senior center being turned over to us for $1. I remember those days. I hope that Melanie Gilbert can look up the newspaper articles from those days and review those because I smell a skunk over there.
So what happens when they do that?
When they change the deal, everybody keeps their mouth shut. You can hear crickets. My takeaway from all the talking that was happening back when they were building the thing, we were going to buy it for $1.
Because that was, but nope, not anymore.
So, hey, tomorrow City Life, we're going to have Bobby Hoey. We're going to have Cisco is going to be here, and Tommy Bubble. That's tomorrow. Time is shot, Cliff.
I just wanted to mention that today, December 1st, is National Pie Day. Okay, so if you like pie, and it's also the unofficial day to start decorating your Christmas tree. So we're doing that at the clubhouse tonight. We're having a cookie exchange with, we're going to decorate the Christmas tree.
Very nice.
Bye, kids. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks,
All right.
okay, thanks,
Everybody.
Bye.
See you next week.
Take care.
Where is Wirecast?
Yep.
Gotta go to Wirecast. There it is.